This is a video of how I have my 3,500 pound super ATV winch mounted on the bottom side. On the back there is an L-shaped piece of metal with a longer bolt that goes into the stock brush guard mounting hole, and then on the bottom there is a longer another longer bolt that would go into the original mounting bracket of the winch. And the same goes for the other side. It's offset a little bit compared to one side or the other, just so I get it to fit in between this perfectly. And this is the synthetic version. It does have a synthetic winch line. I took the stock plastic rubber, or the stock plastic bumper stop off, and put this rubber one on that I got off eBay for 10 bucks. And this hook would try to fall in, and I just put a washer on it. And it also had a little metal piece that went behind this synthetic rope cable, and took that off too, as I couldn't get it on otherwise, and it's not needed. It's perfectly fine. I've used it a couple times. And for the front of the mount, I have 2 holes drilled in the mounting bracket that is provided with it, with I believe it was 5/16 or 3/8 nuts, I'm not sure which, I don't remember. 2 of them stacked in between there on either side, and then a long flat piece of metal that goes across from one end to the other, and then another 2 more flat pieces of metal that are short that go across the bars of the brush guard. And then I put them all in first and tightened them till they were all in. And then I tightened these first, and I tightened them until these were touching or almost touching. And then on these, I tightened them until the bolts were starting to bend from the amount of force. And I made sure to use an extra wide nut that we had, so it wouldn't strip out the nut or the bolt. And then did the same on this side, but I didn't get it nowhere near as tight. But I have had this pulling nowhere near its capacity, I'm sure, but I've had it pulling easily 1,500 pounds, and it did it no problem. And the winch didn't move at all. It just clamps on these, and it doesn't move at all, even when you push on it hard. The only thing that I do recommend doing, and I haven't done this yet, is take this cover off and put a thin layer of Permatex all the way around it, because some people say these leak, some people say they don't. It's just, I think it's kind of more like the luck of the draw, but just to be safe, and so you never have an issue, just put some on the inside of it and be done. And then as far as wiring, it's wired up how Super ATV recommends. Up there is the controller box that has all the wires and stuff mounted on it, and it has 2 different types of connections. It has one that you can use a wireless controller, winch remote controller with, and I do have that, and it does work, but I don't ever use it. And then it has the handlebar rocker switch. It has these brackets that come with it. I just have it resting right here. And then it has a red wire that you're supposed to wire into the key switch. And how that is it only draws power whenever the bike would be on, so you can't mess with it while it's off. And I just have that red wire ran up into the key switch, and then on the key switch there are several different types of colors of wires, and you can't really see any of them, but there is a red, a pink, a black and a red with white stripes. You'll want to put the black wire and splice it in on the black wire. So that is the one that has power put to it whenever the key is on. And just to show you that it does work, the key is off and it won't work. And turn the key on, you can hear it works. Another thing to think about this winch is it will only fit under here if you have a 2.5 inch body lift or more. Mine's a 2.5, and it just barely fit. That I had to cut off the stock mounting brackets for the fenders, and the fenders just sit on this, and it's zip tied to the winch, to the top of the winch fair lead. And this will need trimmed, because otherwise it's hard to turn that unless you hold up on the fenders while you're turning it, and it's hard to do with one hand, but you get the idea.